Namaste and welcome to class. Thank you for sitting together in this contemplation. And today I would like to talk about learning and education and the 5 elements of education that are within you. The 5 teachers, the 5 masters within you. The goal of the One, the Source, is playfully to learn, to see itself and its capacities. What is my capacity? How I look like? In what forms I can possibly take like characters in a play. That's more or less the intelligence and desire, the curiosity of the One. And we inherit deeply that desire. Our most deepest curiosity, imagination, search, experiences is to give us the opportunity to learn. That's why we are on Earth, the planet of masters, the very hard polarity of the planet, an unstable planet in terms of climate, in terms of races, in terms of all times. It's always changing through the use of polarities. So we must agree that learning is a flame, fire within that innate, the very enthusiasm and joy of our existence. When we decide not to learn, we suffer. We constrict ourselves. Our world becomes very small, and we just repeat the same things over and over. So within you, there are 5 little flames of this fire. It's the flame of the educator, the flame of the technician, the flame of the expert, the flame of the teacher, and the flame of the master. These 5 flames are constantly lit at the same time. And simultaneously, depending on the frequency that you are navigating, it can't be one after the other one. For example, if you decide to learn about trees, that first impulse puts you in front of different choices. What kind of trees, what kind of mentor, what kind of time you want to use. That is that first choice is the educator. You decide to educate yourself. You're just getting familiar with the topic. Like when you go to university and say, what are you studying? Oh, I am studying architecture. I am getting an education. So in here you need an attitude of openness, a curiosity, and a decision, a choice. You are not going to change from architecture to law to trees to... No. You can do that in order to research or to decide, but at one moment the educator help you to choose. So the educator open the space for you to think, to have your experiment. And we can see that example at the level of your incarnation. You come to Earth and you must agree in the polarity planet. You must agree in having a mother and a father, meaning a legacy. You must agree in having a form, in feminine form or masculine form. You must agree in certain time, how the time works in this planet, and so on. So that is the educator. You have a choice. So what? It responds to the question, what is my choice? What I'm going to study? Then within you, you have the opportunity to commit to the educator and to start learning the techniques about that particular topic. For example, about the trees. Then there is a technical aspect of it. All the different categories of trees, where they grow, how they are composed, the anatomy, the physiology, how they relate to themselves and other plants, etc. You need to learn all these Latin words and you become a technician. You know the technique. Or when you are studying yoga, you know all the asanas, you know the name of the asanas, you know the breath, and you can deliver something very professional based on rules, in the perfection of the rules. And humanity get trapped in that because your value for being a technician. Of course, in the heart, that doesn't work. But there is certain approach, technical approach about the heart as well. Techniques seek perfection, seek certain excellency. And if you decide to stay there and take pride of that, you become controlled, cold, authoritarian, very rigid. Because the technician just put the foundation. The expert is the one that have transcend the question of how this works, more of why this is working. And the expert is able to put the different aspects of a technique to create something innovating. It's part of you that can use the resources and modify it creatively. It's related to the artist in a way, where you have all the elements and you're able to ensemble things in your own personal, unique way, and it still works. So the techniques start to fade. You are more a creator. And for that, your requirement is to be connected to the present moment and to the depths of the theme that you have chose. For example, if I am connected to my students, if I sit and I see them, I don't need to say, I am going to do this breath or this yoga or say this. I am seeing what they need. And in here is a passage of the expert that is fundamentally important and is the respect that you do have for the other. Because there's certain pride. Actually, I like better the word in French or in Spanish. Orgullo. El orgullo. Where the expert thinks that it knows what the other needs. And that impedes the actual connection, heart to heart, love to love, with the purpose of exchanging. Because the expert needs the other. The technician doesn't. But the expert needs it. Because the expert creates an observation that is in the present moment and is in accordingly to the capacity and understanding of where the other is, where it's at. So we must be careful as a counselor or teacher or in whatever position you have of leadership, of helping others, to humble yourself and not to think that you know better. You know what it works for you. It doesn't mean it doesn't work for others. Because there's karmic cycles of the other that it may not be ready in this lifetime for any of, to be a receptacle of your teachings. Or just simply wants what it needs, but nothing else. But you, of course, see that it can be deeper and can foresee something else. So that is the test of the expert. Right? Now, the teacher, your fourth flame, is a completely different thing. It reunites the technician, the expert, but is plays with alchemy. It have permission to modify or induce acceleration of energy in others and in themselves. The teacher is more detached, more embodiment of the qualities of the source. It have the mind based in deep equanimity, detachment, where is not concerned of any outcome, any success, or any failure. It doesn't pursue anything. Simply plays with its qualities that are integrated within. The teacher is a bridge between the expert and the master. And the teacher is based in the unity of knowledge, life, and love. The Trinity must be in perfect equanimity in the teacher. The master or the higher self within you is your fifth flame of education. And that is a wild ride because it's so far from the mind, so far from what you want, so far from techniques. Is the source itself leading you and guiding you to areas that transcend your limitations. The master, because of the deep detachment from the body and from the mind, it has a ability to work with transmission. So it doesn't matter if it's in form or it's in non-form. The master is always ever present in you. It's what you travel with, and is at the same time the vehicle and the one that is inside the vehicle. It contains everything. It has a sphere, solid and integrated, enough for you to be so secure and embodiment anything that is needed. Not that you wish, but if it's needed. And even them have a choice. So these 5 flames within you, they're all targeting towards learning. How do you learn? And how you communicate with these 5 flames? Are you jumping from one theme to another one every 2 weeks? That is the inconsistency, is the trap of the educator. Or you're just stuck in the technique, and that is what it should be, that is right, and you are in the duality of right and wrong and perfectionism. Or you are an expert, knowing what the other needs and trying to impose, being fascinated on why this works. This applied to your career. This applied to your soul journey. All these 5 flames you need to open a conversation with it. And actually that's your homework. Your homework is to make the 5 columns. The educator, the technician, the expert, the teacher, and the higher self. What do you think about them? What is your position in front of them? What is your relationship in front of them? How you relate, connect, talk to. How much time you devote to each one. Because I tell you, the one is so thirsty for learning that's what makes it limitless. It learns in every form that embodies the trees, the plants, the planets, the universes. It learns what is possible. And whatever your trajectory of the soul is, you must harvest these 5 flames. Open the 5 columns and start contemplating on it. Take 5 days. 1 day at a time. As a soul, what are you here to be educated? How much investment are you putting in it? You are wired to learn something. You have a theme, you have a topic. Once you distinguish that and acknowledge that you are supported by the teacher, by the expert, by the technician, and the master within you, you have security. You are confident. The passion of learning gives you enthusiasm. It gives you concentration. It gives you energy. The love of learning, when it's mature in the mastery, it gives you wisdom. Hope this help in your education and in choosing the right education within you. Relate, contemplate, write it down, and elevate yourself. Namaste.